Welcome back to the Blade Lab, peeps. We're doing some more edge testing today. The point of today's test is to compare a very high wear resistant steel, in this case Maxamet from Spyderco, to two more budget steels. This is a Ramet knife, and unfortunately I don't remember what the name of the model is, but we'll talk about it later. But this one is in 14C28N, and this is a Kaiser Mini Roach, and this one is in 154cm. That's the ingot form of 154, not the more expensive CPM 154. So the expectation. Well, let's talk about Dr. Larrin Thomas's ratings on these steels in terms of toughness and edge retention. So Maxamet is, I believe it's the second highest edge retention steel that he's tested. The only one higher is Rex 121. So the Maxamet blade, he ranks all, a billion different steels, not a billion, but many different steels in terms of toughness and edge retention and corrosion resistance. And I'll put a link to his article in the description. But I'm just going to crib his results at the moment. He ranks Maxamet on a scale of, I guess it's 1 to 10 plus. On toughness, it's a 2, quite low. Edge retention, it's an 11, which is very high. 14C28N, that's going to be a very tough steel, 9 out of 10-ish. And the edge retention, not so great, at 3. The 154cm, again, not a very tough steel. It's 3.5 on the scale. And in terms of edge retention, it's kind of in between, but closer to the 14C at 4.5. So if all these edges were sharpened at the same angle, you would expect that the Maxamet would pretty much crush these other two, and the other two would come in pretty closely. However, what we're going to be looking at is the effect of geometry. So the Maxamet blade, I just put a fresh 17 degree per side edge on it, and the other two knives are sharpened at very slightly under 12 degrees per side. So that is the setup. Let's get a starting point on all these. So we're going to be using a best tester to determine the results. And we, of course, also need to find out what the starting point is. So I'm going to start with the PM2 knife. I just now run it through one strap per side on the Canadian on a belt with Tormek PA70 paste just to freshen up the edges. Okay, so the Maxamet blade comes in at 90 bes. I think just after I sharpened it, it came in at 75. So, there's always going to be some variation in these best scores. So 90, this is the Ramet in 14C28N. That's going to test at 60. Super sharp. And as I've talked about before, doing these edge angle comparisons, more often than not, you're just going to get a sharper edge with the lower edge angle. So we're just going to have to take that into consideration with the results. And the 154cm Kaiser Mini Roach will come in at also 60. So 90, 60, 60. It's the starting point. Let's get that out of here. So I think what I'll do is I'll cut some of this 1/2 inch manila rope as I've done in previous tests, and I think maybe what we'll do is start out with, say, let's just make it quick. Let's just do 30. We'll do 30 cuts, and then I'm going to cut up a couple of these pieces of cardboard board with it, and then we'll measure and see how they do. So here we go. Observations. Yeah, so again, I'm going to move the camera. Hold on. Hold on to your seats, people. So yeah, once again, the Kaiser really cut the best of all of them, and I believe that's down to the thin hollow grind that it has, and also, of course, the low edge angle. But let's see where we came out. Let's get the results, because that's why we're here. So, are y'all nervous? Yeah, me too. Okay. So here's the Spyderco. Again, we're going to be testing it in this area here where all the cutting was going on. I'll do 2 tests, and we'll average it, and then hopefully we'll be able to remember. I'll write it down. All right, so this is going to come out to 190. Get out my pen and pencil. So, Maxamet, 190, and do one more. Move this up a little bit. So I'm going to test in the same area-ish, get a little closer to the tip than the last one, but still where we were doing the majority of the cutting. And 195, so consistent, definitely consistent. And now let's do the remet. 14C28N. Oh yeah, it's getting real now. Let's see. Okay, again, the test, we'll be testing it over here. It's a little hard to get that far up on this one. Oh shit, I didn't reset that. Stupid. $230. Again, this was subjectively the worst cutter of all three in terms of effort, which is probably not surprising given the low edge angle and the relatively low edge retention of 14C. So we'll do one more test on that one. $300. So that's approaching pretty dull. And once again, the Kaiser, the subjectively best performing cutter of the group. Let's see what happened to the edge. This can be a little harder to get to the cutting area just because it's a shorter blade, but let me see. I think that's gonna do. $170. That is the best score so far. 154, 170. I'm going to try to get closer to the front part of the blade on this second test. I may have to, I may just have to do this sort of freehand. I think I will, because the blade's not long enough. Did I reset that? Yeah. All right, so let me just do this freehand. Oh shit, that came in at 95. Let me do it one more time. All right, I'm just going to come up as far as I can up on this little podium. Shit. And that one was 210. I think the one I did by hand was not valid. I think it was probably outside of the area where I was doing most of the cutting, and it's kind of hard to see, and it's hard to do it that way. Anyway, so we're going to go with 170 and 210 for the Kaiser. And let's see where that leaves us. PM2. Okay, so the 154 cm was a total of 380. So that'd be math, right? 380. So that'd be 190 average. Okay, derp. And the Maxamet was 190, 195, so I'll call it 192 and a half. So, I mean, effectively, I'm going to call this a tie because, for one thing, my machine only measures to within 5 grams weight, so I can't really separate it out otherwise. And the 154 CM came in at, was it 530? So that'd be 265. Pretty significantly below the other two. Is that because of the steel? Or is it maybe because of the heat treat? We can't say from this test. But I think that there's another YouTuber, Love Them Knives. He's done some, actually had some knives from different companies sent out for Rockwell testing, and also testing to see what the actual composition of the steel was. And if I'm correct, I think that Maxamet did pretty well in terms of hardness. So the conclusion I will draw from this is that if you're doing relatively sort of light-duty tasks, you can lower your edge angle a lot on some of these budget-y steels. This is, in this case, 154 CM. And you can get pretty much the edge performance the edge retention that you would get from a much more expensive high-end steel sharpened at a higher angle. Now, let me just check for, see if I can feel any damage on, oh, there might be some chipping in this bad boy. I have to look at these under the microscope. So the 154 CM, I do not feel, well, no, I don't feel any chips really, I think, on that one. This is the 14C is the one you would sort of least expect to have chipping because such good toughness. But there may be something there. So let's do a paper cut test too. I get out a piece of printer paper, literally out of my printer. And we'll start with the PM2 and Maxamet. Just a little catch there, for sure. And then it just goes right through. If you do it faster, it will go through, but. So that might have just been some junk on the blade because it doesn't seem to be catching now. So that's good. The 154 CM. Catch there. Yeah, still very sharp, but there's one little catch. Let's see if it works itself out. So a couple little jumps in there. And the 14C28N. I hope that last one was on the screen. Might not have been. I'll go back and do some more. So yeah, this one is kind of messed up. So I think the lesson I would take from this is you can't take sort of low-end 14C28N and to this low of an edge angle. It just can't, doesn't seem to be able to support it. So yeah, that's trash, buddy. That is trash. Boom, boom. What I could do real quick is just try to strop these up a little bit and run it again. Okay, so earlier somebody had one of the other tests. Excuse me. Well, that's not good. Yeah, one of the other tests. Somebody had asked if I would. They thought it would be helpful if I stropped them afterwards to see how the edges came back. So what I'll do is I'll just do a real quick couple passes on the Canonian with this is a leather belt with Tormek PA70 compound on it. It's good for just bringing back edges. What I would normally do when they're edges are at this state would be probably do a pass or two with 1 micron and then come back and use this one. But for brevity's sake, I'm just going to do this one. This is already set to 17 degrees, so I'll do the paramilitary 2. Okay, and now I will do a quick retest on each of them just to see what the speedy stropping did. So let's do that. PM2, $95. So that's close to where we started, I think, on that one. And the Maxamet, all the way up here. 45. Let me do that again because I think popped too quickly. $60. So again, just about I think where we were when we started on that one. And the 154 CM Kaiser. $50. Well, again, I think I hit it too fast. But I know it's sharp anyway. Just for completeness, let's do it the right way. Yeah, 45. It is 45. So that is double edge razor sharp. Absolutely. Take care, y'all. Next time.